3, 1. When's this coming? 5 dubs. 5 dubs. Oh, this is a great dub.
5. Welcome in, Hawks fans. Your boy Bryce was back at it again for another Believe in Hawks episode. The Atlanta Hawks are now sitting at 5 wins in a row. Yes, sir. The Atlanta Hawks are playing some of their best basketball of the season so far, beating the Milwaukee Bucks in Milwaukee 119-104 as the Hawks continue their momentum and look good doing it. So obviously we're going to break down the game. Appreciate you tuning in to Believe in Hawks. The Hawks right now is starting to provide some hope, some energy to the Hawks fan base. And especially with the winning streak, beating Cleveland, along the way, beating the Bucks. I mean, you've now in the last 30 days beaten Boston, Cleveland, and Milwaukee. And then you also beat the Knicks too this year. So you have gone against some of the best teams in your own conference and beaten them so far. So obviously a lot of good positive things to take out of tonight's game against the Bucks. And we're going to break it all down. Believe in Hawks. Obviously, this is your first time tuning in. Appreciate you giving your boy a listen for the first time. If you like what you hear, definitely subscribe to the channel for more Hawks content. Like the video too as well. Leave comments for any discussion points that you want to maybe bring up in this video, in this episode. Audio listeners, if you're listening through audio, definitely rate and review. Tell your friends about Believe in Hawks so more people can come across it. Definitely wouldn't mind a couple of y'all listening more through the audio realm. Like I said, going to work, taking a shower, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, we're all here for the same reason to talk about our Atlanta Hawks. And obviously follow me on Bryce_2K on Twitter, BRICEY_2K for my live game takes when I can and after I'm not working. So like I said, let's go ahead and dive right into it. Hawks, like I said, win 119-104. So tonight's game, the Bucks have always been a team the Hawks have played well. It's always very competitive. It didn't matter what the team's shape has been. They've always played the Bucks well because when you play the Bucks, you know what they're going to do. Giannis is going to go downhill. He's going to try to draw fouls. He's a liability at the free throw line, even though he takes a lot of free throw attempts a game, which can hurt the Bucks. And then all you got to do is just, make plays, make your shots, do what you do, and you should be able to be competitive or win the game. Obviously, Damian Lillard, when they traded for him, was supposed to be the X factor guy who now Giannis isn't all on him to score. Lillard can give you 25, 30. I personally believe when they fired, Adrian Griffin, that wasn't the best decision. And I think Doc isn't the best coach, especially for this team. Bob Bradford mentioned this on the broadcast tonight. He said the Bucks are 1-7 against winning teams. They were just coming off a 7-game winning streak before the Hawks snapped it tonight. Right now, it looks like the Bucks are bad team merchants. They're beating the bad teams, but they can't beat any good teams. And it looks like the Hawks look like a good team, so it makes sense that the result ended the way it ended in tonight's game. And I want to sit here and I want to talk about just the team ball we've been seeing. This is something Quin has been working on, trying to develop as the season began. You have to understand, with the injuries, it changes things. It made things difficult because now you're not playing guys that you would usually play in this situation. And so obviously you go through the ups and downs of being an injured team. You have half the roster out at one point. But I always told people you cannot fully judge the Atlanta Hawks until they're healthy. Because when they're healthy, then you can tell me if the team sucks or not. You're trying to judge them with half the roster out. I don't know why we want to see our third team unit be a first team unit so bad. That's just not how it is in the league. You maybe have a couple of guys who can do something, couple guys who have particular skills, but doesn't mean that that's going to lead to winning. And I think also losing to bad teams with those injuries made people feel some type of way, right? But now that they've gotten healthy, you see what Quin's trying to develop. And one thing that they depended on this year is development in the young players and guys stepping into their new roles. And right now, I mean, everybody knows that Trey Young is not playing well offensively right now, especially with his shot. Shot is not there right now. But the fact that they're able to win 5 consecutive games, 2 of those against the best record in the league and the Bucks, shows you this team has changed from what they've been this entire Trey Young era. Everything was dependent on Trey Young. Trey Young has to play well for the Hawks to have a chance. Now he has developed this team. He's developing a culture, a scheme, and a process where they can still be successful without Trey Young having to go off for 40. And that's extremely important. Because I think in today's league, sometimes some teams build so much around their stars of the stars have to be great for us to have a shot. If they're not, we can't do anything. And Quin kind of looked at this year, knowing it's going to be Trey being the main ball handler again with DeJounte out, and said, I need to figure out how can we still be effective even if Trey isn't going for 30. And one thing Quin's done is he's emphasized Trey's playmaking. His assist numbers have gone up. Now, his assist numbers have gone up every year, but this year, especially in these last few games and during this streak of games, his assist numbers have really gone up. Now, it's not he didn't have a crazy assist game, but what they've done is like we've mentioned, they've created secondary playmakers, Jaylen Johnson, Dyson Daniels, other guys like that, Kobe Buffkin, and secondary scorers, Jaylen Johnson. Dyson's giving you some offense. Rishi Shea's play better offensively. And so now you're able to say, even without Trey Young, we can still generate offense. We can still create for other teammates and still play a good brand of team basketball. One of the things we saw was when they played Boston, yes, they were undermanned and they had to play a certain type of game. And I'll get into the defense here in a minute, but they had to play a certain type of game to beat Boston, and they did it. And then you saw the ball movement was important. Jalen, Keaton, all of them creating for everybody to try to, even against one of the best defenses in the league, get good looks, create good looks so they can score. And I guess against Milwaukee tonight, I was extremely impressed with the first half, especially that first quarter. Because when the Bucks got off to that hot start, sometimes, teams can get discombobulated. Hawks can get discombobulated, right? If you saw how they approached it after that, their process was very mature. They weren't rattled. They just ran their stuff. They believed in what they were doing. They were attacking the paint, scoring the ball, because the Hawks only made 9 threes tonight. They were not that much of a factor at three-point line. They lost the three-point line. But they just ran. They ran their stuff. They tried to continue to get good looks, and they kept scoring. So all you had to do was get some stops on the defensive end, and eventually you would close the gap. And they did. And by the end of the first quarter, the Hawks were able to take the lead back after being down 10 to start the first quarter. It's just like Cleveland. Cleveland started hot. Then the Hawks calmed down, ran their system, ran their stuff, processed, made good decisions, didn't turn the ball over, and they were at bang, 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 bang. In that Cleveland game, they were hitting threes. This game, it wasn't a three-point ball. It was just them running their offense and attacking the paint. And they were pretty much able to kind of do that most of the game. And the Bucks couldn't really stop it. And so that was really impressive to me to see them be able to do that, because it showed the matureness of the process. Quin is basically saying we should be able to get our shot or the possessions we want at any time. We just have to not be sloppy with the ball and just process, be mature, and just play through what we're doing, right? And it worked. And so the Hawks, man, really impressive. And then they were able to carry on for the rest of the game, because now you ended a quarter that you were down 10, scoring 38 in the first quarter because of that. And multiple guys contributing to it, the bench stepping up their play, everything under the sun, right? So obviously the offense did a really good job tonight. But in the fourth quarter, they slowed down. It was a bit of an uglier game in the fourth quarter. I mean, Hawks only scored 20, but the Bucks only scored 17. And that goes into the defensive discussion. The Hawks defensively, man, I made a tweet during the game. I said, it is so good to see this team playing this type of defense after what we've seen the last 2 years. Because in these types of games, Hawks cannot rely on their defense. Now, yes, the Bucks miss a lot of wide open threes tonight. Yeah, they did. And you have that in the league. It happens to every team. But the Hawks also had really good sequences and stretches of defense. And that's something that has also been extremely important in the last few games. Let's go through this winning streak with the Hawks. So no, in this 5-game winning streak, the Hawks have allowed 124, which was the game in Cleveland, 101, 104, 112, and 104. They've only got 120 points once in this 5-game winning streak. The highest they let up after that, 112. 3 games below 105. Well, Pelicans left 112. But that to me shows the strides defensively. Because what it does now is if the Hawks have stretches where they can't score or they're struggling to score, they can rely on their defense to keep them in games. It's literally the formula of what Miami Heat do. Through all these years, we always said Miami's not this really good offensive team, right? They're not that great. You have 3 guys who you really have to worry about, and then everybody else is just kind of a flash in the pan. Are they going to get hot, right? So they've had their struggles offensively. But the Heat knew every game we can defend. And so even if we're struggling, all we have to defend. And at some point in this game, we believe we can get some shots to fall. Jimmy gets hot. Hero gets hot. Bam gets hot. And that can get us over the top. And in these games, the Hawks have pretty much been able to stay in games or keep leads because of their defense, because they're able to defend the ball much better. They added defenders who can defend in space, lengthy guys with size, and they now are able to play different styles of basketball. It's not just we have to win in a shootout. It's we can grind it out. We can create, make the other team create turnovers. And listen, you're gonna have games because it's the NBA where a team's gonna get hot, but they've also showed the ability that if they can have that same offensive rhythm and flow, they can score. And so, because tonight, Hawks forced 18 turnovers tonight. That obviously was big. Hawks won the rebounding battle, 55, had 16 offensive rebounds. Bucks were a terrible rebounding team tonight. 16 steals. Hawks obviously are the best team in the league in steals. Dyson leading the league in steals as a player in deflections, right? And like I said, playing a clean game, only 11 turnovers. So, like I said, the Hawks tonight, man, really did a really good job on both ends. I said the first half was the offensive half for them. They played really well offensively. The second half, the offense started to get a little shaky, but the defense stepped up. The defense stepped up, and that was able to get them home, and then they were able to make plays at the end of the game to go on, beat the Bucks, and go to 5 in a row. So really good stuff from the Hawks right now. Just good team ball. Everybody knowing their roles. I've also talked about that. One of the biggest issues I've had with this team is that I feel like the team doesn't know their roles because you don't know what we're supposed to do on a nightly basis with the players we have. Now everybody has an established role like they did during 2021. Everybody's playing their role very well, and it's leading to some success right now. Where now you're over 500 for the first time since October. So Hawks have done a really good job just kind of, Hawks, I'll say this one thing before I get into the player performances. The Hawks went through that stretch where they lost 4 or 5, right? Blazers, Warriors, Bulls, Mavericks. And that was a frustrating time, right, for Hawks fans. A lot of people were starting to give up on the team. A lot of people were starting to be depressed and sad and like, oh, this season is about to go to dust. We were able to get the guys back and they weren't looking good. And everybody's just like, oh, God, it's just not working. But the one thing to see them do, come back from that, because I said in that Mavericks game, you saw flashes of how good they can play against Dallas. They just were unable to keep that up, right? They were unable to do that. But you saw it. And the fact they came back from it and the team showing belief in what Quin has been telling them, the belief in Quin and what he's been preaching, buying in even through the struggles, and to come out now, you play the best team in the NBA record-wise. You're sitting here losing 3 in a row going into that game, easily thinking we could lose 5 in a row and everything falls off. come out to beat them twice, and then you've beaten Hornets, Pelicans, and Bucks. And this, you can see the buy-in from everybody on the team playing their role, doing a good job. I mean, it just shows you. This team is headed in the right direction. And I think that's the exciting part of Atlanta Hawks basketball right now, is that this team looks like they're heading in the right direction. And like I said, fans are excited because, the Hawks continue to win. You have your knockout stage game next week against the New York Knicks that a lot of people are excited for. Obviously, we know about the Knicks and Trey Young, and that obviously should be a really good game. But, I mean, people are excited about if the Hawks make it to Vegas and play the NBA Cup. You're winning a lot right now. It's just a lot of good vibes right now in Atlanta. A lot of good vibes. And so Hawks are looking to try to keep that up moving forward. But they've done a lot of good things on both ends of the ball. They're believing in what Quin is doing, what he wants them to do, and they're finding the success. And like I said, it's just one of those things you got to let people grow, let people develop. And I've said this before, development is not sexy, it's not cute, it's not pretty sometimes. And it wasn't at times for the Hawks. But you're seeing the fruits of the labor. You're seeing what that's doing now for the team. And the Hawks are just continuing to grow on that. And because like I said, it's still early in the year, so I'm not by any stretch of the imagination saying this team's about to become an NBA Finals team or anything like that. But you're seeing the components that they want to establish in their team that can lead to sustainable success. Because the one thing Landry, Quin, and all of them want to build is a sustainable product. You can go big with the stars, but the stars, it's a window. It's 2-3 years, and if the stars don't play well with what you construct around them, like the Bucks, it can look ugly. So what if we just said, let's continue to build. Let's bring in some guys, some young players. We still got Trey. DeJounte didn't work out. We still have some veterans, Bogey and them. Let's just see what it looks like. Let's see if we can build something sustainable. Quin, you're in here for the long haul. Let's see what happens. And now they feel like maybe they're starting to see some of the payoff. So, like I said, really, really good stuff from the Hawks tonight. But let's go ahead and get into the player performances. Jaylen Johnson tonight, 40 minutes tonight for Jaylen Johnson, obviously returning home. Mom and dad were at the game. Gave him a show tonight. 23 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, 10 of 19 from the field. Jaylen Johnson, like I said, he has been so consistent. Like I said, he's basically giving you the same stat line every night. Tonight, he just gave you more rebounds, 13, big on the board. I said this for the season. Jaylen is a very underrated rebounder. Really, really good rebounder. A guy, he's like 6'9", but he rebounds just as good as 7-footers. And obviously he's a very athletic guy, can jump, so that's obviously helped. But, the Hawks, man, Jaylen Johnson really showing the contract was worth it, growing into the player they want him to become. Because the thing is that it's funny that Quin finally played Jaylen when Nate wasn't and said he needs to be playing more. And then said, so he can pass? Athletic, strong, quick. Something. He might be something. There may be a diamond in the rough here. And they worked with Jaylen, developed Jaylen. Jaylen worked on his game. Quin, I think, has been pivotal in his decision-making and growth as a passer. While obviously, Jaylen, in terms of scoring and trying to improve his offense, that's something he's done a lot of work with his trainers. And you're just seeing it all come together. And the Hawks are seeing the fruits of the labor of Jaylen Johnson improving. As, again, he has pretty much been Mr. Consistent for this team. You pretty much know you're getting a good game most of the time from Jaylen Johnson. And he's going to give you playmaking, rebounding, scoring on a nightly basis. And that is a great feeling to have, to know you're getting that from him. Because the way he plays the game simple. He attacks the hole when he has opportunities, gets his traditional fast break dunk, good passer, able to find guys, had a great pass to Bogey in the first half. It just easy offense. It's an easy process. Nothing complex. Does he sometimes make a risky pass and turns the ball over? Yes, that's just part of the growth. But for the most part, you see what he's doing, and you can see that Jaylen is just really, just comfortable and gets more comfortable. And again, this man has not reached his ceiling. This man can get even better. And that's very scary for a lot of people in the NBA, but very exciting if you're a Hawks fan. DeAndre Hunter tonight, we've talked about how DeAndre Hunter has had a career high in points this year, had 20 and 5 in this game. Just been excellent for the Hawks. He has just been so crucial for this team. Just the offense he's able to provide, the ability to say I can close with DeAndre Hunter, and now playing the best basketball of his career. And you saw it last year with Hunter when he played, that there was some things there that, okay, he has some really good stretches, some really good games. But now it feels like it's all getting put together. He clearly is someone who has been working with the staff to improve some things. Obviously, we all know the quote from not this past media day, but the year previous media day where he said he didn't work on anything. And that got everybody up in arms, right? But that was never the truth. The way he plays the game a certain way. So if he's not doing it better, you just think he's not working on anything. But realistically, he's been working on it. And the biggest thing they've wanted him to work on was a three-point shot. He had the best three-point percentage of his career last year. So he worked on something. And they've continued to want to work on it. Like they said, they want a quicker release this year. And that's been very big for him. And I think it's also helped with his touch. He's now almost like an 80-something% free throw shooter. I don't think Hunter has ever been known till this year as some elite free throw shooter. And now he's like almost as good as Trey at the free throw line and Bogey. And that just shows to the work, again, they've put in with him. And he continues to, the guy who, again, he's a strong guy. He can either attack you because he's big and strong, or you give him enough space, he'll pull up and hit the three. And he also can create fouls. So DeAndre Hunter, man, really big stuff from him. Bogey tonight, hit 3 threes tonight, big for him. Bogey had that game last game, wasn't great. Tonight, 15 points. Like I said, Bogey's important because of his three-point shooting and his ability to space the floor. And it was just nice to see him hit some shots. We know Bogey, I always say Bogey hits those shots where it's like if he can get his three-point shot going, it can really help create space for the Hawks, get the offense going, and also get himself going. And he also had 5 assists tonight, so let's not sleep on that. He was also he's very active. Quin has said that Bogey can do more than just score. He can play make too. I mean, he's wanted Bogey to play make, and he's giving you 5 assists. He's a part of that great bench unit that played really well tonight. Between Bogey and DeAndre Hunter, they had 35. If you add a Kongu in there, that's 48. And then Kobe had 2. So they had 50 bench points tonight from the guys. So clearly, if you're getting 50 points from your bench, that's a big, big boost to any NBA team to know your bench can come in there and they have potentially one of the best 6th, 7th, 8th guys in Hunter, Bogey, and Okongwu to come in and play the way they did. And speaking of Okongwu, he had 13 and 6 tonight. Clint had 8 and 17. So this is the mismatch thing. Clint, obviously, against the Bucks, isn't great offensively, but he can battle on the boards. He had 17. He was one of the reasons why the Hawks won the rebounding battle, in the offensive rebounding battle. He did his job there, and obviously another body you can throw on Giannis. Kongu, you know what his job is when he comes in there. Score the ball. He had 13. He gave you 6 rebounds. You know why he's here. He hit a 3. They were able to miss and match perfectly. Both played 24 minutes tonight, evenly. Because this was definitely a game where that first stretch, you're like, oh, man, this is definitely an Kongu game. But the fact they were able to play even me is just because Clint still provided value to them, even without the scoring. Like I said, when Clint comes in, they want defensive rebounding. When Okongwu comes in, they want scoring. If they can get that from both guys in a game, they feel very confident and satisfied with their center position as of now. Yes, at some point, you would like to get a guy who can do both, who can rebound and score the ball. But right now, you got 2 guys who have 2 particular skill sets, and you try to mesh it and make it work within the scheme of what you're doing as a team. Trey Young, 17 points tonight, 7 assists, 4 rebounds. Again, 0-9 from the field, from 3, 6-19 from the field. Again, offensively, still looking for his shot, right? He was good with the floater tonight. Because the way Trey plays the game is like this. So what Trey does usually is how he gets his 25, 30 points a game. He'll go to the line 8 to 10 times, hit 8 to 10 of those. Let's say he hits 10 free throws, right? So he has 10 points off that. Then he hits his floaters. So he gets like 4 floaters. All right, that's like 18. And then if he hits like 3 threes, now he has 27. He has different ways of scoring and getting to that number. One of the reasons why his offensive numbers have gone down is first, he's not being as aggressive offensively. Even though he took 19 shots tonight, he does feel like sometimes he passes up looks, which is just obviously Quin. I think he just wants to put more of an emphasis on trying to make sure we can find the best shot on any possession. But listen, he ain't made no threes tonight. He had 6 free throws and he made 6 floaters or six shots tonight, right? He had 17. He hits 3 threes. Now he has 26. If he can get the 3-point shot going, which again, we can talk about the quality of 3-point shots he's taking, but he's actually even had some good 3-point shots that he's not making. And if he's able to get his shots down, he'll go back to being in the 20s. The key for him is just he has to make some 3-point shots. If he can do that, because that's how he scores 3 different ways: free throws, floaters, and threes, which is, I think, how Quin wants it. He had the free throws. He had 6. Maybe want to get that a little bit higher. And he made 6 shots tonight, but he didn't hit any threes. So, again, the fact that we're able to win 5 games in a row, without Trey having to be 30-point game Trey, having that offensive firepower from him is extremely impressive. And the emphasis on Trey's playmaking and just obviously the fact that he's going to get the attention of the defense because he is Trey Young and being able to use that to their advantage has been huge for this team. And like I said, Trey, at some point, we would love for him to get his shot going, and I still believe he can get his shot going. Dyson Daniels tonight, 9 points. Again, one of those games where his importance was on the defensive end. He's guarding Damian Lillard. Tonight, we know Damian is a guy who – and Dyson got in foul trouble. He had 3 in the first half. No, he had 2 in the first quarter. Quin kept him in there. Didn't get another foul till the third quarter, maybe? Or the second. He got into the second, but later into the second. Did a good job playing through foul trouble tonight as much as he can because he still played 31 minutes, but eventually fouled out. They were playing. They were calling. Listen, the referees tonight. They were calling some ticky-tack fouls. There were definitely some calls where you're just like, "What are we doing right now? How is that a foul?" Like they gave the Bucks the whistle tonight. Bucks had 35 free throw attempts tonight. Hawks only had 22. So they definitely were giving them whistles, and Dyson fouled out the first Hawk to foul out this season. But overall, I mean, he does what he does. He had 6 assists tonight. Again, Quin ball. Everybody can make a play for one another. Everybody can find a good look for one another. Helps create and generate offense. So Dyson did his thing tonight. Obviously, shout out to Dyson Daniels, first ever NBA Defensive Player of the Month. NBA created this award. Dyson was the first recipient in the Eastern Conference of this award. Wemby won the Western Conference version of this award. So big for Dyson Daniels, man. The Great Barrier Thief, man, doing a great job defensively for this Atlanta Hawks team for sure. And then Ricochet had 12 points tonight. Again, continues to just sometimes, Ricochet, they'll drive to the hole. You'll watch them drive to the hole, right? And you'll see him lay up, miss a rebound. And then Ricochet's just right there. Boom. Dump it off, layup. Dump it off, dunk. Or he's cutting. Boom, dunk. And it creates easy offense. So even when he doesn't have his shot going, he can still find ways to impact the game and be effective and be a threat on the floor where defenses still have to keep up with him. And that is the value of Ricochet. And then obviously he's been doing a great job defensively, putting in work defensively. Played 19 minutes tonight. Obviously, this is a game I was interested because, Giannis is a bad matchup for him because just Ricochet's skinny and Giannis is big. So obviously Giannis could just power and bully Ricochet. So this wasn't really a game defensively where you wanted him guarding him. If anything, you maybe would have wanted to see. Obviously, you saw him try with Damian Lillard. And that's going to happen sometimes for Ricochet. But overall, he does what we need him to do. And then Kobe tonight. Kobe had a good stretch in the first half. They didn't have the greatest stretch in the second half. Had a couple of shots blocked by Brook Lopez, which Quin immediately took him out of the game. That is one thing I have noticed about Kobe. He gets blocked every game, it feels like. So obviously maybe finishing around the rim, being more crafty to try to not get a shot blocked at times, because he went 1 of 5 tonight. But I mean, I think, like I said, Kobe's growing into that role. He's growing as a player. And so I'm not at all concerned about Kobe. And I know it's a development process for him. And all he can do is continue to develop, continue to get better, and continue to grow into that backup point guard role and be effective. Because like I said, there will be a game this season where he will be the starting point guard for a game. And that will be his chance to show all of the growth that he has shown and developed up to that point. So, like I said, Hawks tonight get a good win. 119-104, 29 assists in the game. Hawks have the Lakers coming up. Lakers just got destroyed by Miami. JJ Redick after the game says he's going to have a meeting with his players to make sure this doesn't spiral. Because if you were able to catch any glimpses of that game, there was some terrible effort on the Lakers tonight, which actually has me a little concerned because now they're going to have a meeting. You know how it goes. You have a meeting. Yeah, guys, we need to step up. And either they're not going to respond to that meeting or they're going to respond, and now they play the Hawks, and that means they're going to play their best basketball against us on Friday. It's either two places. There's only 2 ways this is going to happen. So I'm actually a little nervous for that game. But to preview that game, I am bringing on Ryan Ward, a reporter who covers the Lakers. I'm bringing him onto the pod. That will be dropping what's today? Yeah, it'll be dropping Thursday evening, previewing that game, just talking about the Lakers and the Hawks before they play. And then I'm also hopeful I can get someone from the New York Knicks to come on to the show and obviously preview the big game next week in the knockout stage of the NBA Cup, Knicks and Hawks. Obviously a game that a lot of people are anticipating. Knicks fans already talking, already barking about it. I love it, man. I absolutely love it. But I think that's about all I got today on the Believe in Hawks podcast. Like I said, guys, I appreciate you guys tuning in for another episode. If you want to keep up with me on social media, follow me at Bricey_2K, BRICEY_2K. If you enjoyed this episode, you should subscribe to the channel for more of this to be able to see this whenever you want. And you can turn on notifications so you know when I drop. Obviously, we are also available through all audio platforms. So if you're on the road, going to work, going to work out, whatever, you just need some noise. You just want to maybe hear about the Hawks. You can put me on Apple, Spotify. Listen, I love to pop up in someone's Spotify Wrapped. So, like for real, like y'all go ahead, y'all mess with the kid on audio too. And like I said, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Hawks, like I said, very impressive win tonight, 5 in a row for the Hawks. Let me know in the comments what you guys are thinking. How are you feeling about the success the Hawks have had, and what do you think this is sustainable? And what do you think this year could be for the Hawks? I'm curious to know what some of you guys' early thoughts are about maybe what this year could be. So, like I said, Hawks are back in action against the Lakers on Friday, back at State Farm Arena. Obviously, I will be here with another post-game recap of that game. But like I said, Laker Hawks preview pod coming out Thursday with my guy Ryan Ward. So definitely tune in for that. Subscribe for that as well. But I think that's about it for me. It's your boy Bryce Lewis. See you next time.